Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Hilaal Live. Thanks for watching us on channel 347. Now, a month ago, we spoke about the amazing race that SANZAF held and was going to have. And alhamdulillah, they completed a very successful event. And I thought, let's invite them back into studio and find out how the event went and some of the highlights from that event. First up, I'd like to welcome Brother Imtiyaaz Galant. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. And then no stranger to Hilaal TV and some of our other events that we have on Hilaal TV. Sheikha, Basheerah, Hendricks, Gamieldien. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah for coming in and chatting. So I was at the finish at the amazing race and I saw the excitement, the hype, and everybody was so impressed at the event. But for those, just let's take a couple of steps back. Give us some background how the amazing race was put together and the day itself, how that unfolded.
Okay. So, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I must say that it was an integrated effort between the income and project department and marketing. So the three of us, we came together and we decided that what is going to make this day exciting. And through that, alhamdulillah, it was an early morning, a super early morning. The teams arrived at 5 because the idea was to arrive Fajr time.
Perfect.
We're making Fajr at the mosque, and I cannot believe it because the people of Paul, they made it, subhanallah, I don't know how. And it was so crazy because the night before or the day before we had the cook-off. So we were late cooking, testing, seeing the winners, and then getting into that space for the amazing race. And from there, then we had a light breakfast, alhamdulillah, get them, pumped up, get the energy excited about the race. And then we had the start happening at Awal Masjid, which is obviously something
iconic venue,
very much so, subhanallah. And it was so interesting because the teams, it's like for them, this is something that they felt they could identify with. And they were racing with purpose.
Nice.
And that was so exciting. And so from there they went on to various mosques, which I'm going to allow Brother Imtiyaaz to elaborate on that. But subhanallah, the support that we've gotten from that particular day was really mesmerizing.
Do you have people come out and support the teams as well?
We did. We had people driving along the side with us. I mean, just me being with my camera behind the teams, like, we need to get there before the crew comes because I want to film them running crazy. And they took this really serious. I mean, the drivers would say that they would say, we have a fast route, get there, move it, skip that, jump that. Okay, we don't want to get fines, but just jump that. We need to make sure that we are getting the first the first prize. And so that was really fun to hear that feedback. And how they worked together as a team. They had different ages.
Okay.
And they're coming from different backgrounds. Nice. And from that day, nothing mattered. Subhanallah. And I'm looking forward to more of that. Inshallah.
I like the combination of that exuberance of youth and Quranic, just remembering our Quran all the time as well. So, amazing. So Imtiyaaz, you were part of the team that coordinated the race itself. Take us through the route. How did they compete on the day?
I think holding up to the event, it was quite stressful for the project team and the staff because we had this vision and we planned it, but we didn't know if it was going to go as planned.
Of course, yeah.
But alhamdulillah, at the end, everything was perfectly timed as well. So the prep probably went about 3 months before the actual event, and we had to come together and everyone had to pull their weight. So our first, obviously, as Basheerah mentioned, our first venue or location was the Awal Masjid. And obviously, we know it was the first mosque within South Africa, so that's why we thought that we'd start there. And from there we moved along the coast, so to Oud Bay Masjid, and then Constantia Masjid, and Simonstown, Kalk Bay, and then Retreat, and we ended off at the Guguletu Masjid.
Nice.
So I feel like the masjid that was chosen was kind of to expose the youth that, wherever you find yourself around Cape Town, there's always somewhere to go.
Alhamdulillah.
And I think the idea behind choosing masajid as locations for the activities were mainly based as or trying to identify, trying to emphasize the importance of masajid in the life of a Muslim.
Alhamdulillah.
So
I like
center
that.
Point.
I like that. Basheerah, what was the feedback like after the teams finished? I mean, were they excited? Were they tired? Were they ready to go in another amazing race?
I think they were ready to go on another round, hey? I mean, when we came to the finish line, they were like, if we want more, it cannot just be this, you know.
Here's a ticket to Mauritius.
Yeah. Hopefully, inshallah, you know, you never know. There's so much good that can. I think one of the most interesting locations was Guguletu, where they had to do a drum Imtiyaaz. I remember when everybody decided that there's one beat, and then they had to copy the beat. And I mean, we all know not everybody's a drummer. You know, you can't just get the beat easily. So that was a very interesting scene to see, and what was
a lot of laughs. I would imagine as well.
Very much so. You know, and also again pushing each other. You know, you can do this. Let's just take a moment and get out of the emotional brain and get into the analytical brain, so we can do. And be the winners no matter what. What was also happening on the sideline was as the Team A was going on the route of the Amazing Race, catching a location from one mosque to the other, there was a group of girls cooking at the Bridgetown Masjid. And so part of the challenge to get to the finish line is that the food had to have been cooked, because everybody gets to meet at our hub, which is the Salt River office, our head office, and they would have to dish it in a certain period of time.
Wow.
So competing with all the other teams, dish 100 punnets of food in a particular time with the parcels that they had packed in the previous league. And they had to, you know, ensure that they're working with dignity, respecting that the energy that they put into the food, the mindset, it's for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's going further. Amazing. What was interesting about this is that they actually took those food and hampers and they could take it to the community.
Stunning.
So after the race was done, they were able to distribute it to homes and areas that they know within the community that is really looking forward to that plate of food.
Brilliant. You guys planned this, I think, very well. I wasn't going to say to the T, but very well, exceptionally well. And we always learn from this and how to improve. I'm not sure if anything went wrong on the day, but, you know, we won't talk about that. Brother Imtiyaaz, I was at the gala dinner when we announced the winners, but for those of our audience that didn't quite know who those were, tell us who won third, second, first.
So we had, obviously the first position was Gudud Islamic Youth.
And they've got a lot going on at that, in that community.
Yes. So we had Gudud at first, and then we had
Panorama.
Panorama.
Yes, Panorama.
No, we had Amr and Paul.
Well, it was Gudud, Paul, and then Amr Youth.
Okay. So Amr Youth as well they have programs on a daily, weekly basis, and also very much involved in the community, involved in the welfare of the community. And that's what I like. And I think this is the idea behind creating an event like this, is for the youth to remember where they come from, but also to give back to their communities as well. What are some of the highlights for you, Basheerah?
So some of the highlights is that, you know, we have established that our younger audience in the masjid has now a backbone in other communities, alhamdulillah. And it's also reason for other mosques to now, you know, open up the space for youth.
I like that.
And that is one of the most important objectives that we want to have. SubhanAllah, after the Amazing Race, and as Imtiyaaz was saying, Panorama was a part of it. I mean, they have a youth group, and now that they're more aware of these projects, they want to be a part of something more beyond their community. And that, subhanAllah, that's the spirit of what Rasulullah stands for. Sure. And so the highlight of this particular, I would like to say the entire week, is that our youth became more conscious. They were very much wanting to see how they can instill new projects. In fact, today we actually got an announcement that there's another youth group from Paul that's going to participate in a barn fire gathering to get youth to the mosque and to actually experience unity and talk about hadith and sunnah with anashid, and to show that the mosque is a place of living, inspiring and change. And that's what we wanted.
Exciting. I can't wait for the next event. I think it's going to be well supported, and I think our audience will also look out for that as well. In closing, Basheerah, any last message you would like to leave with us about how our audience can interact with SANZAF, but more importantly, our youth get involved in projects like that?
So inshallah ta'ala, to all of our young viewers, especially in the pre-teen age, you know, there's a lot of stepping stones in life, but there is also a helping hand. And inshallah, SANZAF is looking forward to be a part of that helping hand. Don't look at your circumstances, your conditions, dream big. There is somebody listening, and there's somebody making dua, and there's somebody actually funding that dream without you knowing. And so inshallah ta'ala, we want to say to all the youth, we are there not just through Amazing Race or Zakah Week or Youth Week. We are there because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to fulfill a message and a purpose. And we are going to be there. They just need to knock on our doors, inshallah. Lastly, I want to remind all our viewers that our bursaries are open now. So inshallah, if they are planning to start or they don't know that they can actually start because of financial difficulties, inshallah, apply to our bursaries. It ends at the 31st of December, so they have enough time. Even if they do not have all their paperwork ready, just make that application. You cannot go wrong with that. Inshallah.
Absolutely. Jazakallah so much. All the very best, Brother Imtiyaaz. Nice seeing you again, and can't wait for the next one, next event, to see what you guys have up your sleeve. And then Sheikha Basheerah, always great having you in studio. Have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum. There we go. The good people from SANZAF that have hosted an amazing, successful, amazing race. And the youth of Cape Town were instrumental and had lots of fun in the process. That's all that we have for you from the Cape Town team. Sohail Barnes, Mohammed Parker, and from myself, Luqman Shadrack. Have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum.